You're listening to the Things You Don't Hear in Church podcast, a show where your hosts, Derry and Ethan, discuss the controversial topics often avoided by the church. They also discuss culture, society, and everyday goofs. And now, Derry and Ethan.
What's up, everybody? Things You Don't Hear in Church podcast, as you just heard, talking about the gray areas of the Christian faith that aren't really talked about. That's why we're here, Questions that you might have that you want answered regarding spirituality, Christian living, balancing. How do you have fun in the culture while also being a Christian? And what's the line on certain regards? How do we explain theological things in simple manners? Because theology is just a study of God, and it should be available to everybody. So that's why the show exists. That's why we're here. And today we're talking to you guys about something that I was always told was a sin. And that's what I'm upset about, because it's not.
Yeah.
Talking about gambling.
Well, sometimes.
What's that?
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be, I guess.
Also, my name is Derry.
Yeah, I'm Ethan. I always forget the name of ourselves.
My name is Derry like milk.
My name's Ethan, like the furniture store, but not Alan.
Nice. Do you say what we're talking about, or you just say it's not a sin?
I said gambling. I mentioned it, yeah.
I was going to have him guess, but...
Oh. like Doro. Like, what do you guys think we're talking about?
Wow! You got it wrong.
No, we're not talking about killing people. That's definitely a sin.
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes.
It can't not... Murder's... Yeah, murder. Okay, not killing. Okay. Difference. So gambling, right? We don't know how long this episode's going to be. It might just be a quick hitter. Obviously, you're looking at it right now. You can see how many minutes it is.
Yes.
Let
us know in the comments.
Let us know how many it is. As if we won't.
This is the beginning for us, so we don't know how long it's going to
go. But yeah, man, so here I'll set it up why we wanted to do this episode.
All right, you set it up?
Because what happened was I was told my whole life that no, gambling is a sin, I can't sin, or I can't gamble. And then I realized, wait, it's not even in the Bible.
Well, yeah, it is.
I mean, yes, okay, gamble. It doesn't call out gambling as a sin.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not. Find a verse in the Bible that talks about gambling.
Cast lots.
Okay, in a negative way.
Oh, okay.
Thank
you.
You
didn't say that.
Okay, fair. Yeah, so I personally enjoy playing Texas Hold'em.
Okay.
Right? I like it. I enjoy it. It's a good time. Do it responsibly. Maybe once a year.
It's really fun, yeah.
Super fun. Well, I do once a year for like keeps. I would like to play with chips more recently. For not keeps.
Yeah.
Because not to have much money to play with.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
Me and Dalton got a bet going too right now.
Oh, really? Oh, for the fight?
Yeah, for the fight.
Yeah. Also, investing. That's a gamble, right? Okay,
yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. All my life growing up, I was told, don't steal, drink, sleep before marriage, or sleep around
don't
before
sleep
marriage.
Before marriage. Stay awake the whole time.
Like day 3, guys, I need to get married, man. I'm tired. Don't have sex before marriage. Don't sleep around. And then don't gamble. And I thought, like, all of that, like, yeah, that makes sense. That seems like stuff I can find in the Bible that says don't do that. A man's supposed to be with his wife only and whatnot. You're not supposed. And I, like, justify. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I wouldn't gamble because all these other things are definite sins. Gambling's not on the list. And then, like, 2 years ago, I was like, yo, why do we say gambling is a sin? I've read the Bible, like, at least at this point, maybe 2 times all the way through. And I thought, bro, I can't remember one time where it says anything negative about gambling, but there is stuff about
God actually commands his people to gamble.
He said cast lots, right?
Yeah.
Like when they got the 12th apostle after Judas offed himself, they were like, they cast lots for it.
Yeah.
It was how they decided. Like, it's not a hard and fast rule for God's decision making, but they said, we don't know what God wants, let's just cast lots and we'll go with that.
Right.
And they just trusted God that he would then choose the right one. So people our episode like a couple weeks ago from sovereignty. So
yeah, by weeks we mean like
3 months.
3 months, yeah.
But yes, so this idea of gambling as a negative, I know it's a negative thing in culture. That makes sense. I'm okay with that. But I'm mad that the church made it this thing that it was like a forbidden act as Christians. Because I was like, bro, you're taking the place of God right now, saying this is sin when the Bible doesn't say that, you know?
Yeah.
And now there is a thing we can talk about using your money wisely, you know, or there's the Bible says don't look to get rich quick. There's good ways or good things we can talk about as far as finances go and good stewardship. But in the idea of gambling, bro, it ain't even in there as a sin, bro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so like to explain casting lots real fast, you're basically like casting these dice, and whoever like the lot lands on, basically like your number, to like explain it kind of in our like modern day terms, is the person who wins that thing or doesn't win that thing based on what the lot is. And so like they cast lots for Jesus' clothes, they cast lots for a lot of things, and the idea was they would say, God, we don't want to make this choice.
Well, the people who cast lots for Jesus' clothes were not good.
Right. I mean, the idea of casting lots for at least the children of Israel and Jesus' disciples was, we don't want to make this decision. We want God to make this decision. So we're going to cast these lots, and then God can decide through these lots like what's going to happen, right? And so their idea would be God would like manipulate the dice or whatever to show them what
yeah,
they should
and
do.
it was like what do you call it? Like it's like drawing sticks. You know?
Yeah.
If you think about drawing sticks.
Yeah.
There's a bug.
Now, I probably wouldn't do that now,
No, I would just ask God.
right? And maybe that's just not my culture. That's a possibility, but yeah, I don't think I would do that now.
I've done it for evangelism a couple times. We're like, all right, we got all these different options to go to and talk about Jesus with people. So we're going to throw all the options in there, and then we're going to draw from one, and we're going to go there.
Right.
I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, there's no problem with that.
I also play poker and win money. I don't think that's a problem.
Right.
Lose money too. That's a personal problem.
That's a skill problem.
That's my fault. I got overconfident.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, yeah, basically, we don't have like a much of a. It's not a sin to gamble. Now let's talk about finances. Good stewardship. All right.
Yeah. Or even talking about like what even is gambling, because a lot of people think of gambling as like you're using your money irresponsibly, right? Mm-hmm. And I would say it depends on what you're gambling on, because technically, from a psychological standpoint, investment, especially day trading and stuff like that, is the most addictive form psychologically of gambling that you can possibly have, right? So all the kind of things that we do every day are technically gambling. Getting in your car, driving to work.
I was just gonna say that.
That's a gamble, right? Like what you eat today is a gamble. Like all these things you do is an amount of risk that you're taking. Every time you go to the beach, like every time you go outside, you don't wear sunscreen. Like everything you do is technically some amount of risk that you can use the like substitute risk for gambling.
Yeah, every time you go get a haircut, you're trusting someone else that's got a blade next to your neck not to kill you.
Right.
That's a gamble.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, like the odds are pretty good probably for you that that's not going to happen, but you're still gambling.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're just not high risk gambling. So the question isn't, is taking risks a sin, right? Isn't gambling a sin? But are you being responsible with what God has stewarded you to be responsible with, right?
And so I would say, like, obviously I'm not saying you should go, and maybe it's not obvious, so that's why I'm saying it. I'm not saying it's like, take all your savings, go to Las Vegas and have a good time because you're going to gamble. You're like, yeah, it's not a sin. Awesome. Clear conscience. I'm going at it. That's stupid.
Right.
There's an aspect of where you are supposed to be smart and wise and use wisdom in your living, right? So maybe if you want to go gamble, go to play poker or whatnot, specifically gambling in the idea of poker, Texas Hold'em, you should take like, maybe just so you get a paycheck, you pay all your bills, you give to the ministry of whatever you want to give to. You can give it to us if you want. We will not gamble with your money.
No.
But once you do all the necessary things, buy food, buy groceries, pay bills, whatever, and everything's taken care of, you have leftover play money, then you can probably take a portion of that and go gamble.
Yeah.
Right? That's wisdom. And then you say, okay, I have this hard and fast rule. I'm not going to break this. Now you got to be mindful because gambling can become addictive. So you want to be mindful of that as well. Just like drinking, right? Like drinking can be addictive, but if you just limit yourself to like, hey, I'm going to have one beer and be really responsible, there's an aspect where that's not sin.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Gambling can be ridiculously addictive. It's one of like the worst addictions to have. People can lose everything all the time from gambling, especially in casinos where like there's no windows, you can't tell what time it is, you can spend the time in there. Like it sort of funnels you into this addiction, sort of, right?
Yeah, and they're created in a way that they keep you in there. Yeah,
so that's definitely like a slippery slope. So I would say if you're gonna have wisdom, and we're gonna talk more about like the ins and outs of gambling and stuff, you need to have a lot of wisdom and be like super sober minded if you're going to gamble, because it's a slippery slope to sinning, I would say.
Right.
It's not a sin. It could be a slippery slope to sin, just kind of like alcohol or something.
Right.
Like
Now, if that's a reason you're like, hey, I don't want that to be on a slippery slope, that's why I don't want to do it. no power, or more power.
No power to you.
No power to you. You should
Yeah.
more power to you. Like I'm down for that. Like bro, like yeah, definitely. Like I, for my own reasons, don't like to watch many movies with inappropriate scenes. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. That's a slope I don't want to be on.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's different things everyone's got. Whatever, it's fine.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, why was I told by the church that this was a sin?
Yeah, it's super interesting.
Which I forgive. You know, I'm not like holding a grudge. Like, no, I'm so angry. I'm just like,
right.
Someone's got to talk about this, bro. Ain't
Right.
nobody done said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a super ghetto sentence.
So we've got verses like 1 Timothy where it talks about the love of money being the root of all evil, right?
All
So
kinds, yeah.
I would say if you're going to go gamble, to examine your intentions, right? Because I would say the main verses that talk about the things around gambling are probably going to be the 1 Timothy verse and then Proverbs 13:11 that you mentioned before about wow, my brain just went blank. What is it about?
Good steward.
Getting rich quick.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
It says like the person that desires to, that does earn money quickly, that money will disappear quickly. But the person that gains little at a time will also gain more.
Yeah.
And that's in
And-
Proverbs.
Yeah, and then like that idea, like they fall. I think it's the 2 Timothy one where it's like the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, and it's like those who go with it like fall into a trap.
Yeah.
You know, that's a problem. You don't want to be
First
trapped.
Timothy, yeah.
Yeah, was it First Timothy?
Yeah, First Timothy. So I would say examine your heart when you're going into gambling or before you gamble and stuff like that, before you like do these things. Like, are you doing this like for the rush of getting like a lot of money really fast because you won one time and now like you want to feel that way
You want that
again,
hit again.
right? Yeah. Are you doing it for that reason? Are you doing it because like you just love money and you want more money so you can be in more control, have more security or something like that, right? Go into it and be honest with yourself. Like say, like, God, do I view you as my provider and my security, that no matter what happens to this money right here, if I gain money or lose money, this money's yours. I'm secure right now. Even if I had no money, like I'm secure right now because you're sovereign and I'm under your control and you provide for me. And you can pray, you can examine your intentions and examine if you're like doing it for the money or for the feeling or something like that. And if you're not, like feel free to have fun and do those things. I would just say it can be a slippery slope.
Yeah, definitely. And it's the same thing with like earlier we brought the example of drinking. Like you probably should not drink if you're sad and you're thinking, I just don't want to feel this way.
Right. Are you using it to escape?
Right, that'd be
happening?
coping, escapism. Like you don't want to do that. You want to do things all things like sober-minded, vigilant, and also peace in your conscience. Right, like as we're talking about this, if your conscience isn't clear and that you can gamble, like maybe you want to, but you're like, hey, I just really don't feel good inside, like thinking about that or doing that, then don't do it. You know, the Bible says that if you don't do anything with if your conscience isn't clear in doing something, then you should. That's for you, it's sin. I think that's Romans 14.
Right.
And so this idea of if you're not totally convinced that you're in the clear to do it, don't do it. And that's like a rule of thumb that you should live by for most of your life. Like a lot of decisions I make, a lot of my like life choices or certain things, I'm like, people are like, oh, why don't you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know where I'm settled in my heart. So I just have decided to abstain from it until I come to an answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And that's just using wisdom so you don't fall into a trap if that's something that would hurt you.
Yeah.
Be wise. God calls us to be wise.
Yeah, be careful. Don't run into it like super quickly. Pray about it. See what the Lord has to say about it. And then, hey, if you have no conviction about it, if your heart is in the right place, go for it. You know, it can be fun for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because I always feel like weird about talking to people at church about it. Because like it's something that I really enjoy doing when I'm with certain people that I only gamble with a certain group of people, like one group of people, or maybe like if we were playing people on base that I know or like different friends in Honolulu. But really, it's just people back in Michigan that I've known for a very long time. We're all very mature, and we have a cap on how much money we can lose. Like you can only lose a max of $60 the way we have it structured. And once you're done that, like the whole group's like, no, you're out. Like you're not back. And so we have a limit where it's like, okay, look, there's parameters set around where it's safe and I'm with people who I can trust and I know like no one's conscience is going to be hurt. That's another thing. If you gambling would cause someone to stumble, you shouldn't do that as well.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in my life right now that I can think off the top of my head would stumble. But yeah, so use wisdom, clear conscience, in a safe place, in a way that's responsible and where you're not addicted to it or you're like looking to that high like you're talking about where it's like, oh, when's the next time I can get out and just gamble because that's so much fun. Like
Right.
That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You should address that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
So shoots. Quick rant.
That's it.
We got it.
For those of you at the beginning of the episode, thanks for letting us know that it was around 15 minutes. We now know that. So thank you
So
for
check
that
us
in the
out on all the
comments.
social medias, Patreon. Thank you to our supporters.
Yep.
Once again, if you choose to get your gamble and then part of your things that you want to take care of your bills, your giving, you can give to us.
Yep.
We will not gamble with that.
Yep.
But we will use it to spread the kingdom of God and reach people around the world in
Yeah.
America and whatnot.
At the moment you're listening to this, Ethan is overseas somewhere. So if you want to give it him as well, doing Lord's work.
Ain't nobody gonna stop you. Love you guys.